here with Statifying Football. I took the last week off, but back here with the weekday picks for the NFL game and many college football games. So this is week 10 for the NFL. Baltimore's taking on Miami. Baltimore had a high-scoring win against Minnesota in overtime, 34-31. Lamar Jackson, 266 passing, 3 touchdown passes. He did throw 2 interceptions and ran for 120 yards. Marquise Brown, 9 catches, 116 yards. They had exactly 500 total yards of offense. Josh Bynes, 11 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a pass defense. Miami had a win against Houston, 17-9. Jacoby Brissett was okay, 244, touchdown, 2 interceptions. It was their defense that won because Miami turned over 5 times, but their defense had 5 sacks and 4 turnovers. I don't know that this will be close. I think Baltimore will force a bunch of turnovers and should be able to win pretty big. All right, going over to college football week 11. There's a bunch of games this week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Start with Tuesday. Buffalo and Miami of Ohio. Buffalo coming off a bye. They lost to Bowling Green 50-60-44. Matt Myers, 239, a touchdown, a pick, plus 2 rushing touchdowns. Dylan McDuffie ran for 166 and 2 touchdowns. Miami of Ohio lost 35-33 to Ohio. Brett Gabbert, 492 passing, 5 touchdown passes, plus 23 rushing yards. Jack Sorensen, 14 catches, 283 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. They had 569 yards of offense in that loss. Defensively, they had 4 sacks with Ivan Pace getting 18 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and a pass defense. And Matthew Salopek had 10 tackles. It's going to be kind of a tough game. Should be a close game. Buffalo has a pretty good running game, but Miami seemed to get something going. That they fell behind by a lot against Ohio. They were able to get that offense going and come back even though they lost. I think Miami of Ohio should be able to beat Buffalo in this. All right, Ohio and Eastern Michigan. Ohio, they beat Miami of Ohio 35-33. Curtis Rourke, 288 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 44 rushing. Isaiah Cox, 6 catches, 106, and 2 touchdowns. Eastern Michigan, they won a shootout, a fun game against Toledo, 52-49. Ben Bryant, 354 passing, 3 touchdown passes. Hassan Beydoun, 12 catches, 197 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defensively had 5 sacks and 3 turnovers, with Jose Ramirez getting 10 tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for loss. This could be kind of a high-scoring game again. Ohio has looked better than their record is, but Eastern Michigan, they have a pretty decent offense. They're bowl eligible. They're a good team, and I think Eastern Michigan will win. All right, the final game for Tuesday night, Akron and Western Michigan. Akron, they were this close to beating Ball State. Their quarterback, he fumbled into the end zone from like the 2-yard line with under a minute left. They lost 31-25 to Ball State. Zach Gibson, 331 passing, 2 touchdowns. Michael Matheson, 8 catches, 154 and a touchdown. Western Michigan, they lost to Central Michigan 42-30. They had 3 turnovers, which hurt them in that game. Caleb Ellery threw for 276, a touchdown and a pick. And Corey Crooms had 7 catches, 118 and a touchdown. Western Michigan's a pretty good team overall. Akron has shown they can compete with the better teams in the MAC, but Western Michigan, they have a good offense too, and this could be another high-scoring game, and I'm going to go with Western Michigan to win. We're going to Wednesday games, Toledo and Bowling Green. Toledo, they lost the shootout to Eastern Michigan, 52-49. DeQuan Finn, 461, 3 touchdowns. Bryant Koback, 180 rushing and 2 touchdowns. Matt Landers, 5 catches, 150 and 2 touchdowns. They had 672 yards of offense, but turned over 3 times, which really hurt them. Defensively, they had 4 sacks and a kick return for a touchdown. Maxon Hoke, 12 tackles. Jonathan Jones had 11 tackles. And Jamal Hines had 10 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 1.5 tackles for loss. Bowling Green, they beat Buffalo in a big-time game a few weeks ago, 56-44. Matt McDonald, 263 passing, 4 touchdown passes, plus 39 rushing yards, and a touchdown rushing. Terrion Stewart, 170 rushing and 2 touchdowns. Tyron Broden, 4 catches, 110 and 2 touchdowns. They had a lot of really good defensive standouts, starting with Demetrius Hardeman, 10 tackles, half a sack, 1.5 tackles for loss. Christian Sims Brock Horn had 15 tackles. Darren Anders, 12 tackles, 11 tackles for loss. Anthony Hawkins, 10 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. Offensively, also, they had Christian Sims, 5 catches, 103, and 2 touchdowns. This could be a high-scoring game. Again, Toledo likes to play those. Bowling Green seems to be scoring a little bit now, but I'm going to go Toledo outlasting Bowling Green. Kent State and Central Michigan, whatever the over-under for this, I would take over. Kent State, they beat a really good Northern Illinois team 52-47. It's 682 yards of offense. Dustin Crum, 322, 2 touchdowns, plus 72 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. Marquez Cooper ran for 173 and 2 touchdowns. Xavier Williams, 103 receiving. Dante Cephas, 5 catches, 124. Nico Bolden had 12 tackles. Dean Clark had 11 tackles, a tackle for loss. Elvis Hines had 10 tackles, a tackle for loss, and pass defense. Central Michigan beat a pretty good Western Michigan team, 42-30. Daniel Richardson passed for 230 and a touchdown. Lou Nichols, 163 rushing and 2 touchdowns. Khalil Pimpleton, 5 catches, 115, and a touchdown receiving, and he had 2 punt returns for a touchdown in that game. I expect this to go back and forth, maybe first to 60, 63 wins. I'm going to say Kent State will be the one that does it, but this is going to be this is going to be the true definition of MACtion. Then the final game on Wednesday, Ball State, Northern Illinois. This will be a really good game against 2 good MAC teams. Ball State, they beat Akron 31-25. Drew Plitt, 185 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 45 rushing yards. Carson Steele ran for 154 and caught a touchdown. Bryce Cosby had 11 tackles and a tackle for loss. Northern Illinois, they lost in a shootout to Kent State, 52-47. Rocky Lombardi, 532 passing yards, 3 touchdown passes. Jay Ducker ran for 101 and 2 touchdowns. Trayvon Rudolph, 14 receptions, 309 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns in one game. Yes, 309 receiving yards in that game. They had 663 yards in that shootout loss. This may be another shootout again, but I'm going to say Northern Illinois is the one that shoots last in this one. All right, moving to the Thursday game. This will be maybe one of the highest scoring games in the ACC. North Carolina and the Pitt Panthers. North Carolina won an awesome game against number 9 Wake Forest, 58-55. Sam Howell, 216 passing, a touchdown, plus 104 rushing and 2 touchdowns. Ty Chandler ran for 213 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. They had 546 total yards. They did have 11 penalties. They got to clean that up against Pitt. Cedric Gray chipped in with 12 tackles defensively. Pitt, they beat Duke 54-29. Kenny Pickett passed for 416, 3 touchdowns, ran for 57 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Addison, 7 catches, 171 receiving yards, and ran for a touchdown. They had 636 total yards. Defensively, had 6 sacks, with John Patrician getting 13 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, and Phil Campbell having 10 tackles, a half sack, and 1.5 tackles for loss. I expect this game to go back and forth. Both of these quarterbacks are really good. 2 of the best in the country. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning toward North Carolina here. Kenny Pickett can run, but Sam Howell has shown this year he's got, I think, 4 or 5 100 rushing yard games, including last week against Wake Forest. This may be another 58-55 kind of game. I'm going to say North Carolina wins it. All right, Friday, you got 2 games there, Cincinnati and USF. Cincinnati barely held on against Tulsa 28-20. They fumbled from their own 1-yard line trying to run out the clock with like a minute left in the game. They were doing a quarterback sneak. He fumbled. Luckily, they held Tulsa out of the end zone from the 1-yard line. They turned over 3 times, though. Desmond Ridder, 274 passing, 2 touchdowns, a pick, plus 43 rushing yards and a touchdown. Alec Pierce, 5 catches, 113 and a touchdown. Joel Dublanco, 17 tackles and a tackle for loss. Brian Cook, 14 tackles, a tackle for loss, and 2 passes defense. Ty Van Vossen, 11 tackles, and Darian Beavers had 10 tackles. USF showed up against Houston. It was back and forth all game. They lost 54-42. Tim McLean, 289 passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, plus 46 rushing yards and a touchdown. Brian Batty ran for 27 yards and a touchdown and had 2 kick returns for a touchdown in that game. Xavier Weaver had 6 catches, 105. Defensively, Antonio Greer had 12 tackles, a sack, and 2.5 tackles for loss. I'm going to put Cincinnati on upset alert. USF has been in a lot of close games against pretty decent teams this year. They could have beaten Houston. Cincinnati, the last three or four games they played these kind of lower teams really too close. I'm not going to call the upset. I'm going to say Cincinnati, you're an upset alert on Friday. I think they got to go to Tampa as well, so big game there. And a pretty big game in the Mountain West, Wyoming and Boise State. Wyoming took care of Colorado State 31-17. They had 385 rushing yards. Levi Williams had 92 passing yards, 2 touchdown passes, and ran for 116 yards and a touchdown. Titus Swen ran for 166. Chad Muma, 11 tackles. Easton Gibbs, 11 tackles, 2 passes to defense. Boise State still seems to be Boise State. They upset number 3 Fresno State and destroyed them 40-14. Hank Bachmeyer, 283 passing and a touchdown. George Holani, 117 rushing. Defensively had 5 sacks and 3 turnovers in that game. This is going to be a tough game. Boise State, it seems like maybe they possibly could win the Mountain West, but they're not the unbeatable team of past years. Wyoming is a tough defense and a tough running game. This is going to be a close game. This could be kind of low scoring, possibly maybe 24-20 kind of thing. But I think Boise State will end up winning that one. So those are my picks for the NFL games and all the awesome football games for college football during week 11. So check out my other videos later. Peace.